Yeah, just move it up by a couple of feet. Handbrake's on, eh? All right, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another upload of It's Dyer thing. Rob here. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yes, we are down in my lovely garage basement here. I thought what I was going to do today, because we are not riding again, because it's just too bloody cold and we are in our winter months, I figured tonight what we're actually going to physically do is I'm going to base your basic household tools, or your basic garage tools. We're going to remove the rear shock, because yes, I'm going to change the spring, even though if any of you that have been following me along my channel, and I did a review about the Tenere 700 saying that the suspension was absolutely perfect and it didn't need any adjustment. After a little bit more aggressive riding, I found that maybe it is time to slightly upgrade the spring rate. So changing the spring will allow me to come back on the preload and then still allow enough spring rate and without it being too saggy. Nobody wants a saggy unit. Anyway, so from the looks of it, I don't think it's going to be that complicated to physically take the rear spring out. So that's what we're going to do today. All right. So while you're doing, so there's a couple of things that we actually have to do in order to get access to be able to take the shock off. Here, I don't need a mask right now. So there's the two black side covers on each side underneath the seat here that these guys need to be removed. And then there's the mud flap here that needs to be removed in order to gain access to the upper bolts of the shock and then be able to pull the shock out through the top. So that's what we're going to do on that part. It is highly recommended that you have either a center stand or that the bike is supported upwards. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be kind of crappy as it falls down, because once you do disconnect the actual shock, you are now losing what would you need? That's a 15. You'll lose the support of your rear wheel, right? So that is a 15. No, let's go into a 16. So there we go. So now I've taken the actual bolt out here, and as you can see, the actual wheel has dropped. Of course, I'm also working in the absolute dark. The only light that you guys are getting is from the awesome camera light here. So let's go into a nice, now let's go into a nice white light. The white light is going to be good as you're squid, squid, squid. We'll just take the shock off, and then we'll get, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back upstairs, and again, like I said, it's going to be basic do-it-yourself at home spring replacement with your basic tools. So just to show you that you really don't need to take it to a garage. I do recommend that you do take it to a garage and you get professionals to do it, but if you don't want to, or you're in a bind or whatever it may be, then you can technically do it yourself if you wish, right? So this is for those who like to do it themselves. So I went to go get myself a 17 millimeter short socket, which hopefully that will work. Otherwise, I have my deep socket here if I need to get in higher up onto the upper shock. I'll tell you right now, there's nothing worse feeling in the world than wanting to do your own kind of work. Unfortunately, can't afford a house or a garage. So yeah, talk about ghetto, hey? Anyways, whatever. So here we're going to remove the upper bolt here. So there we have it. We've got that nut off there. Now that nut is off. I don't think there's any washers or bushings. Now I'm basically holding the shock in my hand. And as you can see, I can kind of slowly bring the shock out. So there we have it now. So we got the shock here. It'll allow me to actually give it a good clean as well. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to bring this upstairs. And so now basically what we're going to do here, our next project, going to compress the spring to allow us to take the retaining clip out and then allow us to take this whole spring off, because we're going to replace the spring for a heavier duty spring. This one here is rated at 70 Newton meter. I'm going to replace it here with the 85 Newton meter. So then this way, when I do preload it, it will actually function, it will actually work as a real preload, because even right now I've had it preloaded all the way to the max and it was just sagging even as soon as I was sitting on it, and anytime I was doing any kind of whoops or any trails, I was constantly bottoming out. Let me get upstairs, we'll get ourselves set up. It's going to require 3 tie downs, good ratchet quality tie downs, and then 1 actual car jack. What? Yeah, stay tuned and you'll see. All right, so now that I'm up here in a more comfortable position that I'm actually able to do the spring exchange, basically what I'm going to do here is, as I said, your household tools that almost anybody can get a hold of if you don't have an actual spring compressing tool, or if you have access to a shop. You can still do this at home. So basically what you need here is a good quality car jack, and then 3 ratchet style tie downs, or worst case scenario, if you're really stranded, you can always use just a basic tie down with a cam system onto it, right? So what you're going to do is we're going to remove or compress this actual spring to remove the retaining clip so that the actual whole spring assembly can come out, and then we're going to swap it into with this new one here from Rally Raid. So the most crucial part I think about doing this is making sure that you have either a jack that has a good deep dish, as you can see here, something that you don't want the shock to slide out, because basically what we're doing is with the 3 tie downs, we're going to basically strap it down and hold it into place while we're jacking the actual shock up to reduce the spring. So let me get this all set up, and once it's in there and set, you'll be able to see the configuration and just basically how it works. The important thing that what you have to do is that this jack is already raised up, because once you compress it a bit more and then you go to take the retaining clip off, you want to be able to lower it down enough to actually, why are they doing construction at 9 o'clock at night? Like seriously, is to be able to lower the actual shock down enough to then unlatch the springs without having any tension on your tie down. So again, I'll get it all set up, and then you can kind of see exactly what we're going to do here. All right, so as you saw when I was just kind of getting everything set up here, basically I'm just using 3 straps to support all the weight so it doesn't kind of fall off in any direction. So as you can see, it's quite solid there. I've raised the jack up just enough, just again, because due to the fact that once you've removed the retaining spring and you have to lower the jack down to allow the spring to kind of come back up, you want to make sure that it's going to go down far enough to actually create some slack, because you don't want to have to slacken it off of the straps. So I basically used just ratchet strap on the front here, just to be able to kind of hold it down in place, and then just cam straps here on the back. Nothing really too special. So let's see how we're going to do this. So again, I got it raised up a bit. This is in place. It's all kind of settled there. So now I'm going to slowly jack the spring up, and as that spring comes up, it should compress the actual spring here. I gotta take this little retaining pin out, and I don't have a screwdriver. Do I have my screwdriver here? Yes, I do. There we go. So now we got the actual retaining clip out. Again, sketchy, yes. Doable, yes. Should you? Maybe not. So use your own discretion. Again, I'm not going to be held responsible for any mishaps that you guys happen to have. Let's loosen it up. Now allow the shock to kind of come down slowly. Let's get that retaining clip back in. And let's loosen it all up. Take the pressure off. Let it fall down. Tighten that up. So there we go. So now we're back to on its own weight. All right, now that I got everything taken apart here, so we're going to swap out from the 70 Newton meter to the 85 Newton meter from Rally Raid. So if you compare the two here, you can actually see factory is the black and the Rally Raid is the white one. In regards to the actual spring dimension, the thickness and the size, the physical size of the actual shock itself, not much of a height difference. However, when you get your spring from Rally Raid, it also comes with 2 spacer rings here. Very important. As you can see, there's the numeric information here. That is going to be on the top side of the bike when it's on, and you're going to use the top retaining disc, I guess you want to call it. You can see here that between the two, thick one is going to go on the bottom, this one here is going to go on the top. So you're going to basically put that into there where you got the numeric. Are you fucking kidding me? Whatever. And then we're going to insert the spring into the actual shock assembly here. And now we're just going to kind of rig this back up onto the jack here. And again, let me get my height. And once we've done that, we'll be able to put up the other plastic retaining ring with the lock clip, compress that down, lock it up all in place, and she'll be good to go. So let's now sit in place. All locked in. Let's set piggyback compressor. There, that's all done. So there, so there you have it. It can be done, right? So as you clearly saw, I did it. Again, do I recommend that you do it? Probably not, unless you know. It would definitely be more help if you have more than one set of hands with you guys. So at least somebody there to operate the jack and make sure that the straps are there. You could maybe definitely make it safer by having a stopper so that your strap here on the jack doesn't slide around. But again, if you're cautious, you can do it, as you clearly saw. I done it myself, so I didn't have to go to a garage. I didn't have to use an actual a spring compressor tool. Everything is absolutely 100% functional. And now I still have all my preload adjustments that I can do, right? So, which basically that just compresses the spring even more, right? So now, with the setup as it is now, it's basically pretty much like it was maxed out on the preload with a stock shock is now with no preload adjustment on this Rally Raid spring. So it's definitely going to be a bigger improvement. Could one go even a heavier spring? It all depends on how much you want to do. I don't like too much of a stiff ride, but due to the fact that I've added so many accessories onto the bike, I think a heavier spring is definitely going to help. So once we get this back on the bike, that's fairly simple. It's just basically your bolt on the top, bolt at the bottom. Basically, you're just going to reverse in what I did in actual the disassembly of the shock. You're just going to reverse that. Once you do that, then you can actually go into your compression setting here. So right now it's at factory setting. So I'm going to set it up, you know, stiffer compression, and then your rebound setting is down here. So anyways, hopefully that kind of gave you a bit of an idea, kind of on how to do the shock assembly at home. Again, as you saw, it's doable. It can be done with your basic household tools. You don't need to go out and buy super expensive tools, and you don't need no fancy shop. You know, fancy shops are awesome to look at, but if you can't afford it, then your kitchen table is just gonna have to do. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully this has given you some idea on how to do it, at least some ideas on what you can do to do it yourself. You know, if you guys have your own methods and stuff like that, you know, I suggest that you guys make a video of it and set it up onto YouTube, so viewers like myself and any of us riders out there with the Tenere 700 and stuff like that, you know, can get some good pointers and good tips and tricks on how to do this. So there you have it. Rally raid, rear shock, spring, swap out, Tenere 700. It's a Dyer thing. Cheers, thank you very much for your subscriptions, and don't forget to hit that notification button. Do like and subscribe. Haters gonna hate, don't hate on this video. And again, it's just an information, hopefully an assistance way for you guys to do this. So be good, be safe, have fun. Lots more to come, lots more to do on both bikes as they are going to be completely rebuilt, and a lot of accessories to get installed on there. And then come as of 2021 riding season, we're gonna have some wicked adventures, getting all that planned out. So it's gonna be super, super fun. See you guys soon. Be safe, take care guys. Cheers, thank you.